welcome to Screen Time Allowance. This is our show that we talk about movies and TV shows and games that we are playing and watching. I'm Jonathan, and this is...
Zack.
We're about to get some child abuse on screen here. Alright, so we watched a cool movie that you've been wanting to watch for a little while.
Which is...
Which is what? What did we watch?
The Lost Ark. Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Let's discuss. Okay, so Raiders of the Lost Ark, 1981's Raiders of the Lost Ark, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Harrison Ford
And Indiana Jones.
as Indiana Jones, right? So, first of all, did you like this movie?
Yeah.
Did you like it a lot, or was it okay?
I loved it.
Okay, well, let's go through the plot real quick. So we have Professor Dr. Jones, Dr. Indiana Jones, right? We first meet up with him. We see him in South America somewhere. He's walking. We don't really see his face. They're walking through the jungle, right?
Uh-huh.
Some guy pulls out a gun. What does he hit him with? Do you remember? He's sneaking up behind him with a gun.
Whip.
Yeah. Whoosh, knocks the whip out of his hand. The guy runs off. They find a temple, right? And another guy goes, and runs off, right?
He picks up the gun.
Right. He goes into this temple.
He shoots.
There's only one guy left with him, right? Which is Alfred Molina, who would go on to be Doc Ock and Spider-Man and stuff like that, which is kind of funny to see him here. Anyway, so they go into the temple, and what do they have to face? There's all sorts of what? Booby traps, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What was some of the booby traps?
And they have to face the face.
Do you remember the first thing that happened? They walked through a spider web, and then what happened? What'd they get on them? So Indiana Jones had like 3 or 4, and then he turned the guy around, and what was on him?
1,000.
Yeah, it was a whole bunch. So he knocks him off. They whip across a deep hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you start to get the idea. Oh, Indiana Jones, he likes to use this whip. That's pretty cool.
And then they finally meet the face.
What are you talking about? The little golden idol guy?
No.
Well, we're not talking about the faces at the end of the movie. We're talking about the beginning of the movie. The dead guy stuck on the spikes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that comes back into play.
And then they one guy touches the light when Indiana Jones didn't say to, and then a dead guy goes like
Yeah, so that was crazy. I don't know how they made a trap that reacted to light, or the lack of light, but hey, pretty cool.
And then they finally...
They get the idol, huh? So he has to step across some dart pads, right?
Or the face goes like this. Like spit wads.
Oh, right. So what did he do to try to get the idol? He had like a bag of something, remember?
Dirt.
Yeah. He tried to weigh it out. He's like, does this weigh the same?
Like he was like someone else in the movie.
Right. So he switches the idol out. Does it work? Does it?
Yes, it works.
Well, I mean, he gets the idol, but what happens to the whole place?
It doesn't collapse.
It starts crumbling down, though, right?
It crumbles down. And then Indiana Jones is running, and then a giant boulder comes down.
Oh no!
And then the boulder gets stuck.
Right.
Thankfully, and then the guy uses the whip for himself and grabs the idol and takes off without Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm. So he had to jump across, huh?
And then guess what happened to that guy?
Oh, what happened to that guy?
Even though he was a good partner, he wasn't a good soul. So he actually got stuck in this light trap.
Right, he did, huh? Well, he tried to rip off Indiana Jones and leave him to die, so that wasn't very good, partner, huh?
And then Indiana Jones like, poor soul.
Yeah. So he outruns the boulder, gets out. Who's waiting out there for him? Another guy who's bad, huh? Or a bad guy, a Belloc.
Who has all these bow and arrow guys like hula naked.
Yeah, they're all wearing just underwear, huh?
Hula.
They're the natives. So he manages to run away. They chase him. There's a whole bunch of chasing him.
And then he gets on an airplane, and then he's like, "Why is there a snake on top of me?"
So that's when you find out he hates what?
And then he goes like, "Snakes." Why did it have to be snakes?
No, that's later. But we find out right then that he hates snakes. I hate snakes. I hate them, right? So then he's back at school. He's teaching, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some government folks come in. And they say, Dr. Jones, we got a problem. We may have found the location of the lost Ark of the Covenant, but who's going to find it first?
Done.
The bad guys.
Done.
What were the bad guys called?
The Nazis.
Right, the Nazis.
One time we went on an adventure log, and then Dad said, "Watch out for the Nazis and Speedos or something."
What? I don't think I said anything about Nazis and Speedos. You'd want to watch out for them, though. They're up to no good. All right, so he says, fine. He's real excited about the... what are you doing? He's real excited about this find because it's a very important find. So he thinks, I know who might have the medallion, right? Stop. Who might have the medallion, and it's one of his old friends, right? The girl? Well, it was actually a guy, but he's going to go talk to her daughter. So he finds Marion Ravenwood. Is she happy to see him?
No.
No, she punches him in the face, huh?
Yeah, and
she has a bar, right? And then there's a big battle in the bar, huh?
About drinking sodas with chemicals in them or something.
Right. Well, but I mean, after that, the Nazis come in, and it's that funny-looking guy with the hat, right?
He's like this.
And
half a smile, half droopy face, like.
Yeah, he was gonna burn her with the hot iron, huh? Mm-hmm. And then Indiana Jones whip, whoosh. But what does that do? It sets the whole place on fire, and there's a whole scene of them shooting back and forth. He's getting into a fist fight, and the guy has his arm on fire, right? It was pretty crazy, yeah.
They could call him Fire Fist.
Right. So she does have the staff piece,
and then
the headpiece of the staff, but it gets real hot. And the Nazi grabs it, and what happens?
He burns himself.
Yeah, he burns his hand.
And then he sticks it in the
snow. Yeah. They run off, and then Marion's like, well, you burned down my bar. Now I'm your partner. So they go to Cairo, Egypt, right? They go to, I think it's Cairo.
And then...
They meet another friend.
And then he runs into the Nazis again. But this time he's with a different guy.
Right.
He's like, I'm going to show you the medallion. They're the imprint on his hand.
Right. So they turn out to use that imprint to make their own copy of the headpiece. And they put it in there. The thing on the inscription on the headpiece says, hey, it's 6 feet long. But on the back side of the headpiece it says -1, right? But he only had the one side that was burned into his hand, so they don't have the right stick measurement. So Indiana Jones is like, well, if we go there and we know the right thing and we have the real thing, we can find out where the Ark is. So they sneak into the dig. Nazis there digging stuff up. They're using Egyptian guys to dig.
And
so
then Indiana Jones beats one up.
Well, hold on. They find the Ark, though, right? Mm-hmm. So let's go. Let's talk about that scene real quick. They open it up. He throws a pit down. Salah's like, why does the floor seem to move? They throw a torch down there. What's in it? And then that's when he says what?
He's like, snakes. Why does it have to be snakes?
Right. So, yeah, in the meantime, Marion's been kidnapped and she's being held hostage in a tent.
And plus, there was mean old devil Egyptian dogs or something.
Oh, yeah, the statues? Yeah.
Like
so they go down there, and other than the snakes, he falls down, right? And what comes in his face? Whoosh. Do you remember? He falls down and
a cobra.
Right, a cobra. He's like,
oh.
So they get down there and they actually find the Ark pretty easily. Once they found the map room and got the right location, it was fine.
But the Nazis and someone else.
It was the Nazis, yeah.
Nazis and someone else actually teamed up to beat Indiana Jones up.
Yeah. So they lock them. They throw Marion in the pit with them. Lock them in the room. And this is one of your favorite parts. I've never seen a crazy reaction out of you like I've seen in this part. So that he's rocking the statue. He knocks the statue through the wall, right? Marion goes in there, and snake falls on her. She turns around. What does she see?
Skeletons.
Skeleton mummies everywhere. They start pouring out of the walls.
She's like,
you were like, ah! Like I didn't know if you were scared or you thought it was funny, but you were freaking out. It was great. Then there was one mummy with the big snake coming out of its mouth, and you were like, ah! And Mommy was like, oh!
Can we watch that scene again, please?
We'll watch it again sometime. Yeah, that's what you were doing. I didn't understand if you thought it was scary or funny. Okay. Oh. All right, weirdo. Okay, so they get out and they're going to try to get away.
Oh.
Indiana Jones is trying to get to the Ark that's in a truck, but he's at an airplane first. You remember that fight? There's a big guy, right? Big bald guy comes and fights him, and he's just stronger than Indiana Jones, huh? He hits him once, pow! Indiana just falls down, loses.
And then he actually.
How does he end up beating him?
The propellers. He didn't know he was marching towards him, and then his backside went.
Oh, the propeller blade chopped him up, huh?
Hey, can I give you a back haircut?
Yeah, pretty much. So the plane blows up because they break the gas tank, and it blows up. So Indiana Jones is like, I'll take care of it. Y'all get to Cairo, arrange transport to England or whatever. I forget what they were doing. Or Germany. Berlin. So he gets on a horse and rides up to the caravan. This was another cool action scene, right? Mm-hmm. So he jumps off the horse onto the truck. Do you remember how that played out? Mm-hmm. How'd it go? He jumps in, beats the guy up, throws him out, right?
At first he's like, oh,
yeah.
Hits the guy in the face.
Knocks him out, starts driving. Then there's a bunch of Nazis in the back. They start coming up, huh?
I wish
some he knocks off on the trees. One guy actually shoots him, huh? Ah!
But he keeps on going like.
Yeah, and then there's one guy, the last guy, who gets to him, and man, they have a good fight, huh? Mm-hmm. He jumps in, they start fighting. He throws Indiana Jones out the front, huh? And then
he grabs thing, twists them up, and then he goes in, and throws him out the window.
Right.
And then
but you forgot though. He goes underneath the truck, right? Mm-hmm. And they're just dragging on the ground, moving down the truck. Uses his whip to hang on to the back, drags along a little bit, climbs back up, and then he gets up there and he throws that dude out. What happens to him? He's not as good as Indiana Jones, is he?
Yeah, and the scenes were twisted. He was like,
gets run over, huh?
Yeah, he's like, oh, I got a concussion.
Yeah, I think it was worse than a concussion.
I think it was,
so he gets the Ark, and they hide it. They hide it pretty good, remember, in the village? And then the Nazis are like, where'd it go? And they leave. So they put it on a boat, and then the Nazis show up and take it.
And remember, the power of God.
Right. So, okay, we're getting
to
that.
The Nazi symbol.
Yeah, right. The power of God burns the Nazi symbol because they don't want no stinking Nazi symbol on the Ark of the Covenant chest, right? Mm-hmm. So they take it back. Indiana Jones actually gets on their U-boat, which is kind of like a submarine, right? And rides it into there. He beats up one soldier first, and then he takes his uniform, and what's wrong with it?
It's too small.
It's too small, huh? And he's like, putting on his hat, and bam, hits another guy. So then he's undercover on the Nazi side. They're marching the bad guys are like, hey man, don't we want to open this and test it out before you march it into Berlin and just open it in front of Hitler, and it's a pile of dust and it's nothing. Don't you want to make sure there's something to it? And they're like, okay, we'll march it out to this island and open it. So Indiana Jones shows up with a rocket launcher. He's like, I'm gonna blow this thing up because you can't have it, right? Mm-hmm. And then what does the Belloc say? He's like, go ahead, do it. But he knows he can't because he's Indiana Jones and he wants it as an artifact. So him and Marion are captured.
And plus, nobody should have this. The Lost Ark is too powerful.
Right. So the whole idea was that any army that marches with the Ark in front of it would be invincible. So that's why the Nazis wanted him. So they have Indiana Jones.
Except for the Nazi army.
Right. They have Indiana Jones and Marion Ravenwood tied up to a post. They have some film going. They're going to open it up. What happens? Tell me. Describe what happens when they open it up.
Just dust.
It's just dust. Huh?
And then the camera breaks like.
Oh, what happens then?
And then an evil ghost comes out.
Bunch of them, huh?
And then the Nazis guy, weird guy, goes like, he looks at one of them and it goes like.
Yeah,
and then his face starts melting like.
Oh no!
And then the other guy sees one and then he's like, oh, and then his face explodes like.
Whoa, that was pretty extreme, huh? So what does Indiana Jones say to Marion? He's like,
and then all the army is either exploding, their tummy guts are falling out, or
Indiana Jones says, "Don't look at it. Don't open your eyes." Right.
And then their eyeballs pluck out or something.
Yeah, they'll melt out. Faces are melting. It's pretty extreme.
Guts come alive.
A big wind sucks everything up, and then whoosh, into the ark, huh? Mm-hmm. Nobody's left. Everyone's gone except Indiana Jones and Marion Ravenwood.
No, it'd be funny.
What?
If the Nazis' arm actually was like
hopping along. Yeah, that would be. I don't think it would fit with the tone of the movie, but it'd be funny. All right, so at the end, they're back at the school, and the government guys are like, "Don't worry, it's safe." And they're like, "Well, what about it? Should be in a museum, right?" And the government says, "No, we have top men studying it." Who? Top men, right? So what did they really do with it? They just packed it in a box and shoved it in a giant warehouse, huh? So nobody could find it again. It would be lost in the shuffle. You think that was a good idea?
No.
You don't think it was a good idea? What should they have done with the Ark?
I'll probably destroy it because it would be too powerful.
It's very important, though. I don't know if you'd want to destroy something so important.
I mean, I would leave the dust or something.
Just leave the whole thing. I think them packing it up in a crate and losing it in a pile of boxes, I think is probably for the best.
But they won't know if the Nazis come.
Well, yeah, it's an American facility. The Nazis ain't coming over here. Spoiler alert: we won World War II. We beat the Nazis. Okay, all right, buddy. So what was your favorite part of the? I mean, I guess if I had to guess, I'd say the mummy attack part, right? Yeah. Would you confirm that? You're just raising your eyebrows at me. Was that your favorite part?
Yes.
Okay.
I like when it'd be even cooler if every snake come out of the wall like.
Yeah. Would you recommend your friends at school to watch this movie?
Yes.
Or do you think it's too boring?
It is so better.
I don't know what that means, but is it good?
Yes.
All right, so now we're going to have to watch the second one, huh?
Yes.
You know you're recording. We're recording and you're just beating me up. I'm going to call the police on you. Okay, so now we're going to have to watch the second one, huh? It's called Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. But I'll have you know that it's actually a prequel that takes place before Raiders of the Lost Ark. So you'll see it soon. It gets even more intense. If you think melting faces are bad, wait until you see what happens in this one. Wait until you see!
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And since we did an episode on Minecraft, we're not going to do game time, but we'll just wrap it up here.
Game!
So anything else you want to say about Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark?
This movie is amazing. I prefer everybody in the world watch this.
Oh, okay. That's a good recommendation.
Everybody!
How many stars out of 5 would you get it?
1,600.
1,600 out of 5? That's amazing. All right, buddy. Let's sign off. We'll say bye, and then we'll see you next time on Screen Time Allowance. Bye.
Screen Time!